Just because people are offering it doesn't mean you have to accept it. The T is high standards will always protect you from low quality experiences. The end. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's LOREN. It's literally LOREN, and we are back with another video. I feel so good. It is a new season. Spring is here. It is the season to detox our minds, bodies, and spirits, and even our intimate spaces. Our boundaries are in place, and girl, the bar is at an ultimate high. And as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to chit chat today about making that inner shift and girl, knowing your worth and moving accordingly. So if this is something that you're interested in, keep on watching. So just like your boundaries, your standards are a direct indicator of what you will and will not tolerate. And there are a number of areas where you can raise your standards, including in your relationships, your physical health, your mental well-being, the area of self-development in general, and even in your career. And although we're going to primarily focus in on raising the standard for yourself and your own personal development, what we discuss today can be incorporated in any of those areas. And it is so important to understand, and I'm always talking about what's important, but girl, it is so important to understand that there is a fine line, a very thin line between your expectations and your standards. And I'm just going to let you know right now, stop being okay with stuff that you're not okay with, because that's not okay. Okay? But since I mentioned it, let's rewind back to your expectations versus your standards. So, expectations, which are the ideas of how you would like or how you will prefer a situation to go. And I can attest to this because oftentimes we project our expectations onto other people. And it's probably because you think so highly of this person, you hold them to a high regard, or you unconsciously put them on a pedestal. And that, my friend, is the quickest route to disappointment. The quickest route. Versus standards, which are requirements, non-negotiables, the established norms. This is what it is, and this is what it's going to be. And with that being said, when it comes to raising your standards, we must talk about the importance of being able to effectively communicate those standards. So I would highly recommend that you, 1, be assertive. 2, be reasonable and realistic. 3, taking an inward look. Because girl, sometimes we're the problem. Yes. Sometimes we're the problem. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah, sometimes we're the problem. But it is always a great idea to self-evaluate and see how you could have done things differently. So let's talk about it. There are standards for everything in life. Our world revolves around standards. So why not create and live by your own personal standards? And I don't know, I keep hearing a goofy somewhere saying, the world doesn't revolve around you. Actually, my world does revolve around me. Because I 100% set the tone over here. And I don't have to be okay or just accept anything. And girl, you should live every single day of your life with main character energy. You make the rules. So listen to me and listen to me good. In order to avoid toxic behaviors and toxic situations, you must raise your standards. And first things first, before you go trying to set standards for other people, you must raise the standards for yourself. Because everything in life starts with you. I'm just saying. And unfortunately, raising your standards is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. But stay the course, because most often people with high standards surround themselves with other people with high standards. People with low standards unconsciously surround themselves with other people with low standards. And people with no standards, they have nothing to lose. So what I'm trying to say is people will prefer you raise your level of tolerance than to raise your standards. And that's not an option for us. And I think that when you talk about raising your standards, there are 2 very important areas that you should consider. And number 1 being finding your motivation to change. So what is that reason why you want to raise the bar? And motivation can come in a form of a heartbreak. Motivation can come in a form of abuse. Motivation can come in a form of a health scare. Motivation can come in the form of anything that you have tolerated that didn't sit right with you. So I always like to look at this as motivation is that moment where the light bulb goes off in your head and it's like, why did I even tolerate that? Or I didn't feel good when I allowed this person to do this to me, or I did this to myself. It's that moment where you say, I'm not accepting that anymore, or that doesn't feel good to me. That right there is your motivation. So if you're feeling like that urge where you're very uncomfortable in the space that you normally feel comfortable in, it's like you need to gain clarity around what's important to you in life. Like, what are the rules that you live by? Become clear on your morals, your values, your non-negotiables. And also something to consider is, what are the rules that I live by now versus the rules that fit my future? Summarize all of that. It is important that you find your motivation, and some people refer to this as their why, because that's what is going to help you establish your rituals, and that's going to ultimately lead you to making better decisions and forming healthier habits for your life. The last point that I really wanted to make in this video is that the quality of your life won't change if you don't take risks. And I know it sounds cliche, but you'll be surprised at how many people play it safe, and how many people not only set low expectations for themselves, have low expectations for themselves, but set low standards for themselves. And it's like, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. Raise the bar. You know, whatever quality of life that you are trying to manifest, that you envision for yourself, go after that. And I feel that people see your potential, they just hope that you don't. And it's just 3 things that I want to mention about this, and I'm going to end this video. But the first being, faith can coexist with fear as long as your faith is a tad bit bigger than those fears. And the Bible tells us that all we need is faith the size of a mustard seed. And if you know how small a mustard seed is, then you know that it is very small. So as long as you are maintaining faith over fear. The second thing is not allowing people to project their fears, their insecurities, and their failures off on you. That's why it is so important that you create and maintain this close-knit community of people that have your best interests and that want to see you progress in life. And the third thing being, stop the comparison and create your own definition of success, because it doesn't benefit you to measure your level of success to somebody else's standards. Like, it doesn't make sense. And just to sum all of this up, raising your standards is a form of self-care, and it is a form of self-respect. And when you respect yourself, you command respect from other people. And they know not to bring that over here. No, but seriously. And you only accept what you believe you deserve, and sis, you deserve the very best. So if you enjoyed this content, like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you next time.